ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविता शाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। Since we are in the battlefield of Lanka, let's go back and see if you can remember who are some of the mighty generals that have been killed on the battlefield. Can you share the name of one of them at least?
Jambumali.
Jambumali. Okay, very good. Who else? This is not when Hanuman went there. This is when the war started. So Jambumali, keep going.
Dhumraksha.
Dhumraksha. The one with the big teeth.
Prabhu Vajradamshra.
Vajradamshra. Thank you, sir. Very good, Rishi. So, one by one, these generals are being killed. And along with these generals, hordes of Rakshasas are also being killed. Now, the interesting thing is, hundreds and thousands of vanaras are also being killed. After all, it's a war. And they are getting to fight left, right, and center. There is death on both sides in large numbers. There is maiming, which means different bodies being hurt. Some are being cut, lacerated, pierced, chopped, heads being cut off, arms being cut off, legs being cut off, torsos being cut off, blood flowing everywhere, trees, rocks, helmets, bangles, armlets, all sorts of things are moving on a river of blood. And it's not that they are fighting during daytime, they're fighting at nighttime. And we also heard at nighttime, they can't even recognize each other. The Vanaras are asking the one standing in front of them, "Are you a Vanara?" If they say yes, then they don't fight. If they say, "No, I'm a Rakshasa," then they will fight. And similarly, the Rakshasas are also fighting at night, but they are very energized at night. But the numbers are so big and things are moving at such intensity and speed that they're just hitting each other. They don't even know who they are hitting. Sometimes monkeys hit monkeys. Sometimes Rakshasas hit Rakshasas. It's just part of being in such a massive war that it's like the other day, last weekend, Shweta Mataji, I think she said, it's just unimaginable. That is correct. It's unimaginable because there has never been a war of this magnitude, ever. In fact, it is so fascinating that the Devatas who have gathered there to see this. Devatas also fight wars with Asuras. And they have fought some mighty wars in history. But this war is very fascinating because it's unlike the wars they have fought. They all have weapons, they all have mighty warriors on their side. They have the Devatas are specially empowered. The Asuras are also very strongly empowered. They are energized by Shukracharya. But in this battle, everything is skewed towards one side. The Rakshasas are very powerful generals. They have scars on their bodies of great battles they have fought and won. They have powers, mystical powers, physical powers, mantra powers, astra, shastra. On this side are two human beings, Rama and Lakshmana. They also have Bala and Atibala, no doubt. But look at their army. One is Vibhishana, just one Vibhishana with four associates, a Sugriva, Angada, Hanuman, and a whole bunch of vanaras. They've also fought wars, but nothing of this size, nothing of this style. No? And it is so skewed because on this side are weapons, elephants, horses, chariots, uh, varieties of weapons that are all powerful, sharp, strong, mystical. And this side are just vanaras who pluck trees and pick up boulders and throw. They have their nails, their fangs, their feet, and their speed is probably their strength. Of course, mighty warriors like Hanuman is there, no doubt, but there are only a few. And so this war is so skewed that it is fascinating for all the residents of the heavenly realms, Devas, Gandharvas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, all sorts of people are on the sky watching this, and every time something intense and something wonderful happens, they're all, Jade, and they are going through these emotions. Sometimes they are finding themselves overjoyed by the killing of Dhumraksha by Hanuman, by the killing of Vajradamsha by Angada. Sometimes they see Lakshmana, Rama pierced by arrows, the monkeys being decimated, so they feel sad. So the emotions move for the Devatas. As we read, hopefully, of course, the narrator may not be as skilled and equipped, but I'm hoping that you will read on your own and let your emotions also go in waves of joy and sadness and fright and scare and anxiety and sadness and the sense of danger, fear, all of these, because it is so thrilling. So in this fight, as one by one they're being killed, the news of Vajradamstra being killed reached Ravana. Ravana is sitting inside his palace in Lanka that is fortified by a mighty wall. So they haven't broken into that yet. Vajradamstram hatam shurtva. Valiputrena Ravanaha. He heard that Vajradamstra was killed by Vali's son. Of course, I'm showing like this, not any small, but Vali's son. Baladhyaksha, Baladhyaksham Uvacha idam kritamanjalim upasthitam. So Ravana spoke to his commander-in-chief, Balad Adhyaksha. Bala Adhyaksha. That is Prahasta, who was standing Kritamanjalim upasthitam, riding right near Ravana. Ravana said, quickly, take many, many Rakshasas. They are Bhima Vikrama. They have so much power that they have won mighty, mighty battles. Ask them to follow Akampana, Akampanam Puraskritya, having Akampana lead them. along with all sorts of weapons, both physical and mystical. Sarva Shastra Astra Kovidam. Akampana is very smart. He's skilled. Have him lead the next contingency of Rakshasa army. Ravana is glorifying Akampana. Esha Shastacha. Shasta means one who can control, who can tame. Because we say Anushashita, one who's been controlled or ruled by. Sashan means government, one who rules over people. So Esha Shasta, he is very good at subduing and disciplining and controlling his opponents. Goptacha, he is the protector of his own army. So it's not just when he goes to fight that he kills others, but he knows how to protect his own army. And the reason he's talking about Akampana so is he never thought Dhumraksha will die. He never thought Vajradamstra will die. These are all great people. So each time he's sending a more accomplished warrior. Netacha, he's also a very good leader. Cha Yuddhisattamaha. And on battle, he is the best. Bhumikampascha. I'm sorry, Bhutikamascha. He is desiring of victory. And whose victory? Me Nityam. He is always thinking about my victory. Nityam Nityam cha samarapriyaha. And he's always eager to fight. Samarapriyaha. Samara, battle or clash, confrontation. Nityam Samarapriya. He is always ready, eager to fight at the slightest opportunity. Now his name is Akampana. Kampa means to tremble, right? Akampana means one who makes his opponents tremble with fear, with shudder, shocked, shivering with fear. That's just by his presence, his opponents will become so scared that they will shiver out of fear. Such is Akampana. So let him lead. Now this one, Akampana, Esha Jeshyati Kakutsthav. He will be victorious over Rama and Lakshmana. Yes, there are two being spoken. Kakutsthav. Sugrivam cha Mahabala. He will also be victorious over Sugriva, which means he will kill them. Vanaranam chaparan. And all the other Vanaras. Ghoran hanishyati. He will kill them in such a ghora, a ghastly way. Nasamshaya. There is no doubt. That means it's not just some fancy killing. It will be so cruel, brutal, in a way that is very ghastly. You've seen torture. Some people get so much pleasure in torturing other people, especially if you see movies or spy movies or read about this. They'll pull out the nails. Some governments treat their spies like that. They'll pull off their nails to get their information. They will waterboard them, that is with a cloth on their face, pour water that they can't breathe. They will dunk them in water. They will hang them upside down, close them in a small box so they cannot breathe. This torture is very costly. And then cutting, lacerating, he will kill his enemies, Rama, Lakshmana, Sugriva, all the Vanaras, Ghoran Hanishyati. So send him. Akampana accepted the orders and took with him Rakshasas, and each Rakshasas took with each of them varieties of weapons. Nana Praharana Bhimaksha. Bhima Darshan, just to look at them, it was scary. Each of them dressed in jewelry, armor, weapons, and each one of them looked so scary. Makampana mounted a massive chariot. The chariot was made of gold, decked with jewels on him. And Akampana himself looked like the color of a cloud, dark cloud. And his voice, not like my voice, oh, when he spoke, it felt like thunder. Inside a rumbling cloud, you see the thunderous voice that people get scared by. He was leading forward with all eagerness, enthusiasm, and this desire to fight like anything. He was so powerfully moving with his armies that even the devatas would hesitate to interrupt him. Therefore, he was called Akampana, because he was so bright like the sun in brilliance. And as he was going forward, so Valmiki is giving us why he's called Akampana, because he's so powerful, brilliant. Akampanastastesham aditya iva tejasa. He was brilliant like the sun. And when he was moving forward, suddenly his horses, they became, because when you whip the horse, it becomes energetic. It wants to run and gallop, but these horses became depressed. They couldn't move fast. Akampana's left eye started to twitch. Akampana ignored all that. He was too delighted to fight. He was so eager. This is the power of desire, especially desire of passion and ignorance. It is so strong that even if there are warnings and indicators, the person just ignores them. They don't even notice them. Or they say, no interruption in what I'm pursuing. His face, although he was brilliant as the sun, his face started losing its color and his voice got choked. The weather was fantastic. Yet, as soon as accompaniers had all these bodily indicators, there was clouds in the sky. And there was this strong winds. So all of these are indicators that accompany, maybe fate is not on your side. The beasts and the birds started to make shrill sounds and noises and start to cry. Yet Akampana pushed forward because he had the order of Ravana. Now, what we see is the great acharyas and the devotees, when they are given an order by their guru and the Guru Parampara, they move forward against all odds. The Rakshasas also, or those who are they don't have the Supreme Lord as their goal of life, are inspired by something else, either money, victory, fame, power, whatever it might be. So that the mode of passion, Rajoguna, inspires them in such a way that obstacles don't matter. They're able to overcome great obstacles in life and they become victorious. So sometimes people get confused. What's the difference between a devotee and a person of the world who has overcome so many obstacles just to become famous or popular or powerful or rich? The answer is externally no difference. But the difference is in the outcome. What do they get out of it? On the side of the persons inspired by Raja and Tama, even if they get great wealth and power, it goes away after some time because the person will die. then they have to be born again and struggle and all over again. Doesn't matter who it is, they have to struggle for life. Perhaps as a devotee, not perhaps, but as a devotee, the reason they are inspired is the pleasure of the Lord, the order of the Lord, and for fulfilling a service order, the seva bhav. That what they get out of it never dies, it's eternal. Such a person gets to be in an eternal body and live in an eternal life. So the gifts are very, very different. The outcomes are very different, although it seems on the external, in the present, it may seem very similar. So we should be careful in comparing such persons. Kampana, there's so much that is happening. Valmiki is writing about 17 or 18 shlokas on what kind of battle happened as soon as Kampana's army crashed with the Vanara army. He said the struggle was so fearful between the Vanaras and the Rakshasas that they were getting ready to fight with each other, weapons on this side, punches, trees, and boulders on this side. And they were all dedicated to the cause of Sri Ramachandra, and the Rakshasas were all dedicated to the cause of Ravana. Because Ravana said earlier that Akampana is always desiring my benefit. The Vanaras are also desiring Sri Ramachandra's benefit. Each side, they were very strong in their own way. And the tremendous noise and clamor that ensued from their clashing with each other was deafening. And there were loud cries, shouts, pain, agony, crying. All of these sounds were mixed. And they were fighting on the ground with such intensity. The chariots were moving at such speed. The elephants were trampling the land, that in their fight, not only was there a cloud in the sky, there was a cloud of dust that was rising from the ground. And this cloud of dust enveloped them from all 10 directions. So they could not see each other. They could not understand who is coming from which side, who is on my left, who's on my right, who's in front of me, who's behind me. Is that a Vanara? Is that a Rakshasa? Plus the clamor of the sound was so loud. Have you ever been in such a loud, noisy, clamorous place with all sorts of dust that you can't think? And that's what's going on. They can't even think they're just hitting, fighting, biting anybody that they feel or touch around them. And so everything became so dark that the monkeys, who suddenly would become so enraged, were hitting other monkeys. And Rakshasas were killing Rakshasas. So it was not even battle between enemies. It became so confusing that you're killing your own army members. The Vanaras are killing the other monkeys, the Rakshasas are killing other Rakshasas. And everybody is moistened with blood and dust that was sticking to that blood. And the entire ground around them was covered with dead bodies. So not only can they not see, they cannot hear, they don't know who they are killing while they are walking over dead bodies. Some of them were their own friends and their enemies. Each of them were lifting mountains, rocks, throwing at each other. They were being pierced by arrows, being cut by axes. So with all of this, Akampana became even more angry and started to double his effort to kill the Vanaras. And one Akampana was so strong that he was overpowering the great vanaras like Kumuda, Nala, Mainda, Dvivida. I mean, Mainda, Dvivida, these guys are so strong. They can jump towards the sky. They can jump hundreds. They said that they could go 80, 70 yojanas when they were speaking with Hanuman, and they're so inspired. But they were being harassed by Akampana alone. So they were bewildered. How is it possible that Akampana can cause so much carnage? Akampana can kill so many Vanaras left, right, and center, that although we are picking mighty trees and boulders and mountain tops and killing Rakshasas, still Akampana is overcoming Kumuda, Nala, Dvivida, Mainda. And as he was harassing the Vanaras, Akampana became stronger and stronger, because this is the nature of a Rakshasa, one who has a Rajasic mentality. That when they see their opponent becoming weaker, they become stronger, because it's all about victory and defeat. Now, Akampana became so much angry that he started shooting arrows with his bow. And he told his charioteer, Tatraiva tavat tvarito ratham prapya sarathe. Oh, my charioteer, take my chariot there very quickly. Ete cha balino ghananti subahun rakshasan rane. Take me there to that place where these mighty monkeys are killing so many Rakshasas. They may be very strong. They may be very powerful. They may be quick. They may be skillful. But when they stand in front of me, they will not be able to fight my arrows. I want to kill and completely exterminate Nala, Mainda, Dvivida, Kumuda. Every chariot rider tells his chariot driver, take me to where the action is. Ratham sthapayame achyuta senayor ubhayor madhye. I want to see who has come to fight me, the great Arjuna. So take my chariot there. It was an order given to the Lord. Now, Akampana was fighting with such intensity that the monkeys got all shaken up. They were not able to maintain their position. They were being thwarted, pushed back, hurt like anything with all this. And Akampana was just shooting arrow after arrow, arrow after arrow without stopping. Now, as Akampana is shooting so many arrows and all the Vanaras are being either hurt or they're being put into unconsciousness or becoming disabled from fighting further, or thousands and thousands of being killed, it came to the attention of our hero Sri Hanuman. Hanuman became so angry that how dare he kill my fellow Vanaras. So Hanuman came right in front of Akampana. Tam mahaplavagam trashtva sarve te plavagarshavaha sametya samare viraha samhrishta paryavarayan. As soon as Hanuman became their shield and stood between them and Akampana, all the other Vanaras, Plavagar Shabhaha, the best of the generals, which are the Kumuda, Nala, Mainda, Dvivida, and others, they saw Hanuman standing there to protect them. Samhrashta, suddenly from all that emotions, they became so happy. Ah, Hanuman is here. And they surrounded him also on all directions. When they saw Hanuman there, suddenly these monkeys found new strength. Although they were hurting, they're bleeding, their some arms are broken or cut off, fractured, bleeding, disabled, yet they found strength. Now, in life, we're going to speak in general, and then we're going to speak about Hanuman specifically. In general, when a person is fighting the battle of life, life is such that it deals some very interesting blows. Sometimes we are punched, sometimes we are cut, sometimes we are surprised, shocked, saddened, all sorts of things that disable the body and mind, either through some situation of life. As long as a person is fighting alone, their strength is very limited. But if they have someone that can support them and they step in as their strength, then we find new strength, new energy, because we're drawing from that support of whoever that is, friends, family, somebody. But if that friend is just an ordinary person, anyone like us, beyond a point, their strength will wear down. Their intelligence will become exhausted. Their mind will not have new insights or ways and means by which we can draw strength. But what to speak of Hanuman? If in our life, Sri Hanuman stands there for us as our shield, not because he's our servant, but he's our protector. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the kind of strength, the inspiration, the zeal to continue in life? And the continue to life is that life can give us any kind of challenges. If we find ourselves under the protection of Sri Hanuman or the protection of Sri Guru, then we draw strength from him or them. And it doesn't have to be just one person, but a person who's spiritually so powerful. Hanuman is not just physically powerful, he's spiritually powerful. Because he's Ramachandra's very special devotee who's been blessed by Sri Rama and Lakshmana and given a blessing by Sita Devi, Karya Siddhya, that whatever you do will be successful. There will never be failure. So if we are finding ourselves spiritually weak or sometimes challenged or often challenged, then if we hold on to Hanuman's tail or the spiritual master's dhoti, not so physically, but then we feel connected to them, the great gurus, acharyas, then we find new strength. Not only that, Hanuman is the descendant of Vayu. He's as good as Vayu, because you heard verses and verses that he's no different than Vayu. Vayu is the one that flows in our body. It's called prana. And this Vayu, when it flows, there is not just one air. There are 5 pairs or 10 types of airs. And each of these airs moves different aspects of our body so we can live life. How we breathe, how we exhale. The air that moves within the organs, the air that moves through the joints, that air that moves into the brain and the mind. All of this, he's the one who gives life, prana. So Hanuman's presence is very significant. And since he's the messenger of Sri Ramachandra, very close, very dear servant, just every morning we sing, Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Shastrai. Sakshat Haritvena. He has qualities as good as the Lord. And Kintu Priya. He is so dear to the Lord. Uktastatha. All the Shastras speak of the greatness of the Guru, who is considered non-different in the sense that he's the external manifestation of the Chaitya Guru. Kintu Prabhurya Priya eva tasya. He is so dear to the Lord. Therefore, Vande Guru Shri Charana Aravindam. So this Hanuman has entered. There's a beautiful verse about how devotees take strength from each other. Now, on a more general level, we always need the intervention, the support, the presence of other devotees in our life to face the challenges of our life. In the 11th canto, this beautiful verse, Parasparanu Kathanam Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha. That when devotees get together and they exchange with each other, Katha, Rama Katha, it is Pavanam, it purifies. Bhagavat Yashaha, one should speak about the glory of the Lord. Generally, people speak about their problems, which sometimes we have to express because Gokhyam Akhyati Prichati. We express, but we also meditate on the glory of the Lord. What is the greatest glory of the Lord? That he always comes and pulls his devotees out of their distress. Now, the pulling out of distress, sometimes you have this picture, my distress will go away. That's not what necessarily it is. It means that we transcend the pain. We transcend the distress. Distress may still be there, but our connection is with Bhagavan and Bhagavata. So we don't necessarily see the distress this big. We may see the distress small. It's a verse, it's a point of vantage. Pavanam Bhagavat Yashaha Mitho Tushti. They mutually satisfy each other. Mitho Ratihi. They become very, very close and lovable to each other. Nivrita Mita Atmanaha. And they tell each other, I will give up this, I will give up that, I will give up my faint-heartedness, I will give up my attraction to something that is pegging me down from moving forward. That's the strength they get to commit and say, I will move forward on this life, on this path. Now, Akampana shot such a series of arrows upon Hanuman, who himself looked like a mighty mountain. And the analogy Valmiki gives is that Indra is constantly tormenting the mountains with rains, torrential rains. Think of Giriraj Govardhan. He was lifted and he was shielding the Vrajavasis with so much rain. The rains were falling like columns or pillars. And yet the mountains are sthira. They're achala. They don't move. They don't shake. Nothing happens to the mountains. Similarly, Hanuman was standing there. Anukampanastu Shailabham. Shailabham, he looked like a mountain. Hanumantam avasthitam. Mahendra ivadharabhihi. Sharair abhivavarshaha. Abhivavarsha. Ha! Valmiki is completely taken off by such shock and surprise and delight because the verse ends with ha. It's a wow. It's an expression that akampanastu dharabihi sharer bhivavarshaha. He was sending out arrows like torrential rain. Yet Hanuman is standing like a mountain, unshaken. Ha! Wow. He didn't mind so many arrows being hit on him, but Hanuman's mind was completely fixed on finishing off Akampana. In fact, Hanuman started laughing. Sa prahasya mahateja Hanuman marutatmaja abravit abidudrav tadraksha kampayan iva medinim. Hanuman started laughing at Akampana that you're nothing in front of me. And moved with such speed towards Akampana that the entire earth started to shake. Kampayan iva medinim. Now, Akampana, here's the paradox. When people see Akampana, they shake, they tremble. When Hanuman sees Akampana and runs towards him, the earth is trembling. That's the might of Hanuman. Tasyatha nardamanasya dipyamanasya tejasa babhuva rupam durdharsham diptasyeva vibhavaso. Vibhavasu is fire, or sometimes the sun, because it's a ball of fire. Earlier we had heard Akampana started, he's called Akampana because he has the effulgence of like a sun, like the sun. Here Hanuman himself was roaring, laughing at Akampana and moving with such force and energy that it became, he became so powerful, like a blazing fire that cannot be extinguished by anything or anybody. Full of anger, Hanuman, without any weapon in his hand, quickly as he was running, the earth shaking, he blazing like fire, laughing at Akampana, yet his eyes burning with anger, picked a mighty tree with him. I'm sorry, not tree, a mighty rock, Shailam Utpatyamasa, a massive rock he tore off a mountain as he's running. Picked up that rock while he's running and threw it. Actually, whirled it and then threw it. You've seen the sport called discus throw or shot put. They hold a heavy iron ball, but they moves. They whirl around and then throw it. Or discus, they swirl and throw. Hanuman picked up a mountain top rock, swirled it, whirled it, and threw it on Akampana. And it seemed like how Indra was fighting with the great demon Namuchi. Namuchi's story is fantastic. He had performed tapasya standing on foam of milk, a very foam of an ocean. So he became so light and stood on his toes like Hiranyakashipu did. Now, Akampana, when he saw this fast, high-speed mountaintop coming towards him with his arrows, he broke that stone into tiny pieces. Hanuman got irritated. What? This Akampana? And then in that same speed as he's rushing towards him, picked up an Ashwakarana tree. Ashwakarana trees are very strong. The tree is as big as the mountains. Hanuman quickly uprooted it. So it's not even taking effort, just quickly uprooted it. And with anger in his voice, with great speed, threw it upon Akampana. Now, as he threw that tree, Akampana's armies, elephants, the elephant riders, chariots, charioteers, Rakshasas who were all walking on their feet, all got crushed under it and died in massive numbers. Now Akampana, from his side, became very angry too. So what he started doing is started rushing towards Hanuman. While the Rakshasas now became scared of Hanuman, of Hanuman's very almost like Vishwarupa, very angry form, they were all there. The Rakshas started running towards Akampana. So Akampana shot simultaneously 14 pointed arrows upon Hanuman that tore into Hanuman's flesh. And blood started oozing on him. So suddenly, with all these arrows pierced on him, he looked like a tree with all its branches. He looked so reddish like an Ashoka tree, or a blazing fire that has no smoke in it. Viraraja Mahaviryo Mahakayo Mahabala. See how many Maha are used for Hanuman. Viraraja. Viraraja, shining. Mahaviryo, that great mighty warrior Hanuman. Mahakayo, of a very great gigantic proportionate body. Mahabalaha, extremely strong. Pushpita Ashoka Samkashaha. He started glowing like a fully blossomed Ashoka tree that has red flowers. Vidhuma iva pavaka. Vidhuma, smokeless. Pavaka, fire. A fire that burns clean and brilliant without any smoke. That means Hanuman was not at all perturbed or disturbed. While Akampana is looking at Hanuman after shooting 14 arrows, in such a quick action, Hanuman uprooted a tree and struck Akampana on his head. And in a moment, that mighty Akampana just crashed to the ground and died. Hanuman ji ki jai! When Akampana died like that in a moment, the Rakshasas felt so scared and distressed. And Valmiki says, just as trees are shaken during an earthquake, helplessly shaking. This guy is Akampana. He brings shivering in others. But looking at a dead Akampana, all the Rakshasas started shivering and shaking out of fear, just like trees in an earthquake. They dropped their weapons. They turned around and started running towards Lanka. As they are running, their pride has completely been vanquished or humbled. They were panicked. Their limbs started oozing sweat, because when you're scared, you sweat, and the sweat was profuse. They were dripping in sweat, and they started running back. You've seen a stampede. In a stampede, people forget there are fellow human beings, children, women, elderly. They're only concerned about saving themselves. Like this, they were running, there was a stampede, they were crushing each other, their own friends, they knew each other. It didn't matter. They had to save their life from Hanuman. Anyonyam ye pramathayanta. Mathaya is to crush. They started crushing each other. Vivishur nagaram bhayate. They started entering Lanka out of fear. Prushtathaste tu sammudha prekshamana muhur muhur. As they are running towards Lanka, the gates of Lanka are opening. They are constantly looking in the back to know how close is Hanuman. Is he pursuing me? So they're constantly looking behind them. Muhur muhur prekshamana. Some mudha, they're bewildered by their fear and quickly entered Lanka. Then all the monkeys became so happy. They started clapping, jumping, beating their chests because it's a victory for them. Although Hanuman killed a Kampana, every Vanara felt it was their victory. That is the greatness. Because it is their victory. They never think, oh, Hanuman did it. It is Hanuman's strength by which they were victorious. So they all started glorifying Hanuman. But Hanuman is very, very special. He never said, yes, I'm very strong. I'm the one who saved you. Hanuman, who's so well cultured, as he's being honored by the monkeys, he returned the honor to all of them with friendly, loving glances, by words and by gestures according to who they are. Oh, what a personality. Hanuman Sattva Sampanno Yatarham Anukulataha. As it was suitable according to who they are, he returned their glorification by glorifying them through glances, words, and gestures. Gestures would mean slapping their back or embracing them or shaking their hands. So the entire place becomes loud with a triumphant voice and shout. And while this is happening, the Rakshasas were running. Now the monkey started to drag each Rakshasa back and crush them, pummel them like anything. One by one, the Rakshasas will be killed by Hanuman and Hanuman's wonderful armies. In fact, it seemed like Hanuman looked like Lord Vishnu who had killed Madhu and Kaitava. Now, the monkeys congratulating Hanuman is one thing. But now Hanuman's got excellent glorification from Vibhishana, from Sugriva, Sri Rama, and Lakshmana. Apujayan Devaganas Tada. All the demigods who were in the sky started glorifying. Apujayan, they were showering flowers on him, is what we say. Apujayan, they are glorifying him. Kapim Swayam cha Ramo Atibalash-cha Lakshmanaha. Here, Ramachandra is referred to as Atibala and Lakshmana, Atibalascha Lakshmana. Rama and Lakshmana are the strongest in the universe. They appreciate Hanuman's strength. It takes one to know one. Tathaiva Sugriva Mukhaha. Sugriva was the leader. Plavangamas Vimukha, the leader of the monkeys, Sugriva became so happy. Apujayan. Vibhishanashchaiva and Vibhishana. Mahabalastada, even Vibhishana. All the greatly strong persons are recognizing and appreciating and congratulating Hanuman for his fantastic victory. A Kampana, in all of us, there is an Akampana living, either in small size, extra small size, medium, large, extra large, double XL, whatever the size of Akampana is within us. That Akampana is such that others become scared or shiver. Maybe I don't have such capacity to shake or shiver anyone, but Akampana means a law that I cannot show compassion to anybody, or I cannot show compassion to certain people. I cannot show compassion to certain categories of people, certain categories of beings. Akampana. That means the other beings, other persons are scared of my anger or my inability to be loving and compassionate to them. That akampana within us can be crushed or removed or diminished by Hanuman, who is Anukampa, who's compassionate to such a degree. And therefore the Guru, because we say the Guru is, the Hanuman is a representation of Guru. So when we see, when we become a follower, we're in the shadow of the Guru, then in our heart, there is a sense of compassion that awakes in us for other living beings, for Jiva. First of all, we are told, oh, don't eat meat. Oh, yeah, no meat eating. That's one of the promises I make. So as long as I don't eat meat, I'm following the regulative principle. No. This is an action. Don't eat meat is on the behavior side. But what on the emotion, the inner value? The value is please live a life of being merciful unto others. Mercy means anukampa. I don't know how to be merciful, but I see, I hear, and I experience the anukampa nature of the gurus, the Guru Parampara, the Supreme Lord, the Bhagavat Yashaha. Then I know what compassion looks like, feels like, tastes like. So I can be to others as well. So that is the story of Hanuman entering the scene and vanquishing Akampana. Even the Supreme Lord is pleased when one can be merciful to someone else. Or we may be shaken up by something. We may be exhausted. We may be feeling weakened by the slaps or the challenges life puts in front of us. But that Anukampa Hanuman, when he enters our life, he kills such fear. He kills such obstacles. Just obstacles dying is not enough. The fear in us should also die. So he removes all fear. Therefore Krishna says, Mameva, just take shelter of me, Ma Shuchaha. There's no fear, there's no worry. Even Ramachandra says, Sakradeva Prapannaya, Tavasmi iti cha yachati. Tavasmi, I am yours means I am under your shelter. Abhayam, there is no fear. No fear of what life is going to bring to us. At the same time, when we feel that mercy, that fearlessness, it is meant for us to also give our spouses, our children, our friends, our acquaintances, the other living beings, the sense of fearlessness from us and fearlessness from what life is going to present. I went on talking for an hour. So, are there any questions or comments? Any reflection you want to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please accept my
Sarvabhauma Prabhu.
Please accept my obligations. All this to Prabhupada.
All glories.
Prabhuji, one very quick question. This Akampana and his characteristics, as you're mentioning, he is in a fight mode. But when Lord Ramchandra was battling with Khara and Dushana, and at the end one survivor was there, that Akampana. I think you mentioned Ravana's uncle, right? But he was in a flight mode. So it's two different characters. Are there two different persons?
No, same person, but he didn't fight. One, because it's Ramachandra on the other side. But more importantly, you have to take the message to Ravana. So at that point, he decided that more than fighting, he should go give the message to Ravana.
Thank you, Guru.
So he was spared. You can think of it this way. Ramachandra spared him, not as the consciously, but in a context of the Supreme Lord, that someone has to send a message to Ravana. So Akampana goes, and then Shurpanaka goes. Shurpanaka also goes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
Mm. Okay, going on. Silent cow. Okay, we will end here. And what I would like you to do is, because we're speaking on this pastime, it takes some time for it to enter and settle. That is fine. But it will settle and stay strongly if we can reflect and verbalize it in whatever way that it makes meaning to you. So use our WhatsApp group. I want to hear from you, your reflections on this episode of the killing of Akampana. You can use a voice note, you can type something, but please put it on the Ramayana group. I know some people are shy, so they send me personal messages. The reflections are fantastic, but they are not shareable with others, so then they don't become inspiring for others. So don't be shy. There is no right answer or wrong answer. There's not even a question, just asking to reflect. But please reflect, because that will make the message sit in the heart nicely. Okay, thank you. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.